Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table Enabled. We're learning today Shulchan Aruch Siman Pei Beis, number 82. It's part of Hilchos Kriya Shema. There's only two sifim, only two halachos today. Aleph, so yevesha kol kach shemizrakena tisparich. If you have dry excrement, right up until now we're talking about moist excrement, the best kind, of course. If it's dried out, I don't know. If it's dog poop, in the case where dog poop is considered like the poop of human beings, and you would throw it, right? It would break apart. It's considered to be like dust of the earth, and you can read Kriya Shema even within Toch Dal and Amos. Rabbeinu Manoach, a Rishon, throws in that it can't smell bad. If it smells bad, even if it's like dust of the earth, it still is a bad smell. Rakim nefrachas like the glila blows rika v'chein ikar. Some people say a little more machmir that if you were to throw it, take some soa, some excrement, and you just throw it around like a baseball. Of course, it's gonna break, but it has to be that it would break apart just by rolling and really rolling it on the floor. If you took dry excrement and you started rolling it on the floor, it would still break apart. Of course, it's going to break apart if you throw it, but it has to be that far dry that even just by rolling it on the ground, it would break apart. Then it's considered dust of the earth. As long as it doesn't have a bad smell, you'd be allowed to read Kriya Shema within Dalet Amos. Beis, meraglayim shnivlu b'karka. Let's say you have urine. Someone peed in the bushes, right? If you could try it out, you take your hand and you touch it, and it makes your hand wet, you can't read Kriya Shema according to the Rambam, who is the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch. Hagah, the Ramah says, the Ramah holds that something is not considered moist unless it's moist enough that when you touch it, it makes your hand wet enough to transfer wetness to something else. So you have to touch it, your hand will become wet, and then if your hand were to touch something else, it would make that thing wet. That's called tofeach v'nat tadfiach. It's not called liquid until you reach that point. The halacha follows the Ramah, and in Ian to lean on, the Ian Shir on Shulchan Aruch, I'm going to explain this machlokas between the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah a little better and try to tie the loose ends of the two separate halachas that apply by both excrement and by urine, by being in Dalet Amos and then seeing them and smelling them coming up in Ian Talina, coming up next.